What's up, good people? Hope you're having a great day, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you listen to this. I was thinking about what I could say, because I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to be more consistent with making videos and posts and whatnot. Just want to take a minute to talk about Proverbs 15:1. Short version, it says, "A soft word turns away wrath, a harsh word kindles up anger." Also makes me think of Proverbs 18:21, if I'm not mistaken. It says, the power of life and death is in the tongue, which goes into all of James 3, right? Where James talks about how we bless and we curse and we speak well and we condemn, and we should not be, should be blessings. And people can't control the tongue, but because it is it's one of the smallest parts of the body, but it's like a major influencer as far as the way the individual acts and reacts and interacts with other people around you. Just thinking about election season, especially all kinds of conversations anyway, but especially as we enter into election season, there's going to be a whole lot of hotly contested conversations. There's going to be a lot of division of, whether you red or blue, or, you independent, independent people. Independent parties never get really any votes, so it's kind of a wasted vote. There's other ways we could change that, but that's not, that's another conversation for another video. I'm just thinking about, how if we are, a lot of times you hear people say the soul of the nation is at stake, and in a lot of ways I see it. I mean, because, there's just so much, and I've actually heard a lot of disheartening things, but I just want to point out that our words have power, right? If we just kind of this is who I am, like it or love it, get lost, you know what I'm saying? We can't be like that. There's no diplomacy in that. There's a certain level of authenticity to yourself, but at the same time, if you're in your authentic self, but you're a troublemaker and there's all kind of strife and drama that you're not solving any issues, you kind of got to step back and say, what am I really doing here, right? So, diplomacy and tact is definitely something I would push forward, right? Just to kind of solve problems and overcome issues with dignity and tact and grace, and to just just to make the most of life in general, especially with the relationships. And that's something that's going to be major as far as we're moving forward, because we're in this world with each other, right? I can't help but think of the word pikrino. It's a Greek word. It means I make bitter. We have the opportunity to be a blessing to people, but far too often we are a curse to people. We don't really speak well of people. We don't really give people the encouragement they need. Speaking well of people makes me think of the word eulogy. It's something that we're supposed to do at a funeral, but we never really, it should be something we do on a regular basis, just to speak well of people. Don't brown those people, but tell them, just try to be encouraging to people, because life is tough. Whether it's job situation, work situation, school, some people are parents and they're struggling with that. We got all kinds of stuff we're going through, and so we always need encouragement, and to be encouraging, right? You can't just expect people to pour into you without pouring into other people, and you can't really expect reciprocity. As far as if you pouring out good things, you can't expect people to pour back in, because humans just aren't nice like that, right? But nevertheless, you gotta press, you gotta persevere, you gotta do what's right, regardless of who's watching, regardless of even if you never feel it come back to you in a good way. You still have to be on your best behavior. You still have to be on your P's and Q's and dotting I's and crossing T's, and not mixing up lowercase L's and the number ones, because that can be confusing too. But seriously, it's something I would admonish you to just to speak well of people, speak blessing to people. Look at Matthew chapter 5. The word is makarios. If we translate it as blessed, blessed to the poor in spirit. The Beatitudes is what we call them. Makarios is like well positioned for success. So, what I would suggest and what I would admonish you to do is to be a blessing to people, to bless people, to put people in positions to succeed, right? A lot of times we just, you know, put people in a position of, you know, gossip, things like that. I saw a video yesterday was saying, hey, if you, gossip itself is bad, but to sit around while other people are gossiping and to not stop it, to not cut it off and say, yo, look, go talk to that person, right? Don't gossip about them. Go talk to them directly. Or, you know, people embellishing the situation and just kind of playing on it and making it, you know, that much worse and making that person a laughing stock because they did something wrong, or just making things worse than it could be or should be. That, you know, that kind of gossip builds up drama. It kind of makes things worse. So, you know, don't put people in that position to fail. Like, and when somebody does dumb stuff, you know, call it what it is. It's dumb. They made a mistake. You know, they shouldn't do that again. Other people around who are watching who don't know should learn from that. But at the end of the day, we have to push past stupidity and dumb things and bad ideas to make things better, to make life better for ourselves, our families, you know, perpetuity moving forward. Right. So, you know, it's my admonishment is, you know, going forward today and, you know, for the rest of your life or whatever, perpetuity, is to just be a blessing to people. You know, and a lot of times we don't know how to do that, right? Because we get in our feelings, we get in our emotions, we get in our own way of thinking, our own way of doing things, and we kind of just let it flow. You know, I think it's Proverbs 4:26, if I'm not mistaken. It says, out of 4:23, it says, guard your heart, for that's the wellspring of life. You know, and again, it goes back to, can't help but go back to James 3 that talks about how just like a rudder is a very small part of a ship, but it can steer, you know, massive cargo ships and massive cruise ships to go whatever direction, right? And if you want to think about now, things are getting more mechanized, more mechanical, more digital. Small microchips and things are really, really small, but they can, you know, they can power phones, they can cars, and all kinds of different devices and automobiles, right? So the point being is that just because something is small, you know, microchip, a rudder to a ship, whatever the case might be, it can still control large things. Parallel that back to the tongue, you know, to say rash things, to say dumb things, to tear people down is extremely inadvisable, right? But we have to keep persevering and find the good, find something to be positive about, find a way to be encouraging. And of course, call a spade, call a sin, call good. Be honest with labels, but don't over embellish, right? And if somebody does something stupid or wrong or sinful or evil or whatever, point it out for what it is, but find a way to to teach people how to avoid X, Y, Z, whatever it might be. Don't just condemn people, but help people grow and mature and get better and do better and do right and do great things and become great and realize that it's not a one-time stop, right? Because say, for example, I'm trying to stop drinking sodas. You know, I'll go 2 weeks, 3 weeks without a soda and then drop back. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's not the worst thing in the world, but the parallel, the lesson remains, the concept remains of, you know, whatever it is you're trying to stop doing, whether it's some kind of sin, whether it's some kind of, you know, sugar addiction, whether it's using profanity, whatever the case might be, fill in the blank with whatever it is you want to fill it in. It's not something that's just going to stop, right? So people need your encouragement, your words, your kindness, to help them redirect, right? Don't just bury people in their mistakes. Don't just make people feel like they can't grow. And also, don't make people feel like that their mistakes are good, right? Help people understand that, you know, XYZ is a mistake. It's a sin. It's a bad thing. It's a bad choice. But don't bury people in it. But give people encouragement to move forward beyond the mistake, to grow into more well-rounded human being without that given fault, and help people understand, you know, what they can do to make their life better. You know, if they say they lost a job because they had a bad attitude, they snapped at their last boss and got fired. Thank the Lord they ain't got no assault charges and they can actually not be in jail or whatever. But, you know, give people the encouraging word that they can probably, you know, find a job in this, and this, and they can move forward and pick up the pieces of their life and keep moving forward without that, you know, that dead weight hanging over them. All right, be a blessing and encouragement to people. Be an admonishment, and you know, just lift people up. Don't take people for granted. Don't make people life worse than it has to be. Be a blessing, right? I know you can't do everything for everybody, but when you are, the time you have with people, be a blessing to people. You know, and that does take some discernment. It takes some, you know, time to like observe and see what's going on, see what's good, what's wrong, and help people make the most of it. Even whether it's a 10-second quick word, or it's a whole, you know, a whole long period of accountability. Let's keep each other accountable to do the right thing, to be tactful, to be respectful, to be wise, and to be sensitive to each other, but also to help each other to not be too sensitive to broken situations. So hopefully I've said something that's been a blessing to you. Hopefully you have a wonderful day and an excellent week. And I'm going to get on out of here.